I want to begin in Denver. Denver, Colorado is ending mask mandates or proof of vaccine requirements. The requirements are rolled back despite no end in sight for the pandemic. Now, as you drive around your city, I'm bothered by this. And I can't say that I get it. But as I drive around the cities that I am in, I see it happening everywhere. People are so-called fatigued. They're tired of the pandemic, but the pandemic isn't tired of us yet. And so I'm really curious as to the scientific justification for this, because we are in the stage of the pandemic where now even President Biden making moves so that hospitals are no longer required. I want to make sure I get it right, because I don't want to get this one wrong. David, give me the update. What is that update on President Biden and no more death toll requirements?
Yeah, so I'm not sure when it was announced, but the administration is no longer requiring hospitals to report the COVID deaths.
This is the stage. Thank you, David. I didn't want to misstate that. In all the coverage of Ukraine and all the other stories, there's so many particular details that is easy to miss, that are easy to miss. And I wanted to make sure that I heard that correctly. This is the stage of the pandemic we're in, where now collectively, America's going to get away with murder. We're just going to collectively turn our eyes, much like we've already done, mind you. I don't want to make it seem as if this is new. We have been turning our eyes throughout the entirety of the pandemic, but now it's almost as a matter of course, where the different administrations across the country that were saying a whole lot when they were out of power. I got to call a spade a spade. Y'all said a whole lot about stopping this pandemic when y'all were out of power. And now y'all are in power. And all of a sudden, we're not as concerned about the reporting of the death total. I think that is the one statistic that is the key performance indicator of how you handle this pandemic, President Biden, and that now it is not required. And I know that there's going to be some justifications, because we are not short of our own sycophants on our side of the equation who are going to find some absurd justification as to why that is okay. And I need to have someone to even try a justification as to why Denver is ending their mask mandates and their proof of vaccine mandates, as if the pandemic is through with us. I get it. People want to pretend. People are pretending like this is normal, like we're back to normal. And it's the pretend. It's the facade. It's the facade that so many people have tried to put on throughout the entirety of this pandemic, as if everything is okay and everything is normal, that has, in fact, exacerbated the pandemic. We should, in fact, be like some nations that are scientifically making the decision to end some of their mandates because they have successfully conquered it inside of their borders. But we have been saddled with leadership, starting with Donald Trump, putting us on a trajectory for the worst case scenario when we had the technology to survive. We had the technology to have at least 750,000 people still with us today. I think perhaps we need to reconsider how fatigued we really are, because being tired of the pandemic is not going to make it end any sooner. And to be honest with you, I am at the stage where I am ready to. I don't think that there's a single person in the country who was as dotted every I and crossed every T, washed every piece of grocery. And you know what? I'll wash every other piece of grocery if that means I have to do it to protect my youngest who was not vaccinated. If we gotta hunker down for another year, you damn well better believe the Dixon household, we're going to do that. And I don't care who looks at us like we're crazy, because I'm sitting back looking at the rest of the world like, have you all lost your minds? Because in so much as we know it, death is permanent. Now, if you have a faith and you believe that death is not permanent, that's fine. More power to you. But in so much as we can scientifically prove death is permanent, and y'all out here playing like you're going to respawn on the next level, like this is a video game. People are really out here acting as if, it's just a little bit of the corona. Sorry, I didn't mean to go on that tirade, but at the end of the day, I am still taken aback by this country. I mean, I have myself gotten into some sense of normalcy that, you know, we look around us and we think everything is getting back to normal, but there's absolutely nothing normal about 2,000 people who died the other day. I don't have the numbers for yesterday. David, do you have the numbers? How many people died yesterday? I mean, we're not even counting them anymore. So maybe we need to mark the last day that hospitals were required to report that data and make that a milestone and say on the last day that hospitals were required by the president of the United States to report death totals, this is how many people died. Because after that point, the data is going to be pretty damn sketchy.